It is not going to be easy, but you are what you are and where you are because of what is going into your mind. And you can change what you are, and you can change where you are by changing what goes into your mind. Especially when you consider that, at age 45, I was broken and in debt. And my dad died when I was 5 years old, and I am one of 12 children. And it was the heart of the depression when I went to work in a grocery store on Saturday before I entered the 5th grade on Monday, and I worked every afternoon after school, and on Saturday, and I had a paper route 2 nights a week and collected 1 night a week. So by age 14, I was running a meat market, and I contributed to the support of my family before I was 13 years old, and I have worked hard all of my life. But until I was 45 years old, I was stone broke. So now stay with me, because this is a critical point that can make a dramatic difference in your life, your family life, your business life, and your personal life. Because Zig Ziglar was one of the world's most popular motivational speakers, and Ziglar was one of 12 children raised by a widowed mother during the Great Depression, and he wrote over 25 books including See You at the Top, and inspired millions of people around the world in this exclusive training where Ziglar shares with us simple steps that will help you reprogram your mind for success and overcome hardships in life and build a better version of you, with special thanks to the Ziglar family for partnering with us to release this exclusive content on our YouTube channel. Enjoy. Just as a matter of curiosity, how many of you have ever either heard me before, or else this is your first time? Could I see your hands, please? All right, and I am always glad to have so many people in front of me, and I am doubly glad if there are Amway people, and I am extraordinarily doubly glad if they are next, and Birdie Amway people. Because there are 3 things I am of the people that you will be seeing here are going to share somewhere between 30 and 40 words that I absolutely guarantee you will have a dramatic impact on your life. I am going to tell you without any fear of error that if you do not write these words down, you are going to be sorry, ladies and gentlemen. You better write them down. They are so important. Now, as I bring this to you, let me kind of give you this one little bit of word of warning. I always speak and write at the 7th grade, 3rd month level. Now, the reason I keep it at that level is because I discovered a few years ago that if you kept it there, that even the college professors would be able to follow right along with you and understand what you are saying. And for the benefit of our college Gettysburg, which, as you know, took place during the War of Northern Aggression, depends on where you went to school, folks. It does 266 words, and 202 of them are 1-syllable simple. Direct John 3:16-26 words. 21 of them are 1 syllable. But upon them rest your eternal soul. I am going to keep it simple. I am going to keep it simple, because I believe that is important. And what I want you to start doing right now is I want you to start thinking about the dream Amway distributor, the one whom you would just absolutely love to sponsor in your business today, somebody that you know would really move right on up to the top, somebody who would be an absolute delight to work with, somebody who has got it all together. I want you to start thinking in terms of every possible quality that you would want this individual to have. I want you to visualize that you can literally find such an individual. And I want you to start thinking about all of those qualities. And I want you to identify those qualities. I want you to call them out to me. I am going to write them down. Now, the reason I am going to write them down is for my benefit, not for yours, because I will have to refer back to them 2 or 3 times. You must take your own notes in order for this to have the impact. We will be seeking this dream distributor that you are going to sponsor. What is the first quality you would want this individual to have you? Call it out. I will write it down. Somebody who has ambition. Okay, second one. Somebody who is consistent. Somebody with a good positive mental attitude. Somebody who is enthusiastic. Keep them coming. Somebody who is a dreamer. Somebody who has their goals. Keep them coming. Somebody who is honest. And somebody who is motivated. Keep them coming. Somebody who has integrity. Somebody who is loyal. Somebody who loves the Lord. Somebody who has faith. In other words, keep them coming. Somebody who is persistent. Okay, keep them coming. Somebody who is a communicator. Keep them coming. Somebody who is trustworthy. Keep them coming. Somebody who is teachable. You know, some people are so narrow-minded, they can look through a keyhole with both eyes at the same time. Can you, got to be teachable? Is it not amazing that a narrow mind and a fat head always comes on the same person? Does not make any sense. But it seems to happen that way. Okay, give me another one. Somebody who is concerned. Okay, who is concerned, somebody who has desire, somebody who has commitment. Okay, somebody who is cheerful, somebody who is optimistic, the kind of guy that put a dime in the parking meter while his wife goes shopping. I mean, that kind of an individual. Okay, you give me another one. Somebody with a good self-image. All right, keep them coming. Somebody with a sense of humor. Okay, now every time I understand one, I will write it down. Sometimes, I do not write it down, 'cause I just do not hear. You do not understand it. Give me another one. Somebody who is a loving or caring individual. Give me another one. Somebody who is disciplined. I heard that one. Somebody who is flexible. Okay. Somebody who is a self-starter. And somebody who is a hard worker. You know, some people quit looking for work as soon as they find a job. Do not they? And you cannot be like us, old boy down home. Somebody asked him how long he had been working for his company. And he said, ever since they threatened to fire me, so that is not what you are looking for either. All right, give me another one. Somebody who is organized. Maybe not quite like our executive vice president, he proofreads the Xerox copies. But I know what you are talking about when you say organized. Keep it coming. Somebody who is gentle, somebody who is a giver. Well, now we are identifying the qualities of a leader, you see. So you tell me that is the reason you want to recruit them. Because they are sponsor them. Because they have certain qualities which make them a leader. Give me another one. Somebody who is patriotic. Okay. We have already got dreamer. Somebody who has courage. All right. I have got desire. Somebody with character. Oh, okay. Somebody who is, what was that? Again, dependable. Dependable, is that what he is saying? Okay. Somebody is dependable. When they tell you it is going to rain, you will set the tubs out. It is going to rain. Okay. Somebody who dependable, got room for about 3 more teachable, so we have already got teachable. Somebody is good attitude. Got PMA, positive mental attitude. Somebody who is flexible, got that one. Somebody hold up to hand and spat it out. I cannot hear you. Somebody who is reliable and somebody who is enthusiastic, have already got enthusiastic, unselfish, and patient. Okay. Now I have got that. That is all the room I got for. So let us look at it now. There are others, of course, but how many of you would agree that an individual of those qualities would make a pretty good success in the Amway business? Can I see you hand, okay? How many of you believe that that kind of individual would make a good friend and neighbor? Can I see your hands, all right? How many of you would love to have kids with all of these qualities? Can I see your hands? All right. How many of you would love to have a mate with all of these qualities, bottom line? How many of you would like to have all of these qualities? All right, now. Let us see how many of you believe that anybody with these qualities could absolutely be enormously successful in the Amway business. Go diamond pretty quick, double, triple go. How many of you believe they could even go to crown? Can I see your hands all right now? Let us take a little count here and see what we have got. We got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 17, 19, 21, 23, 25, 27, 29, 31, 33, 35. There are 37 qualities. Now what I am going to do, I am going to go back down the list. So if you miss some of the words, you can now get them. When I call out the words, I want you to tell me what they are. If they are attitudes, say attitude. If they're skills, say skill. Now some of you will think one thing and some will think another, because some of them are both. You stick by your guns, you respond as to what you think it is, we will put them both down. In those cases, ambition is that an attitude or a skill attitude, consistent attitude, PMA enthusiasm. They are dreamers. They are honest and motivated, have integrity and loyal and have faith. They are persistent. They are good communicators. Well, I am getting them both. Okay. Somebody who is trustworthy and teachable and concerned. They have desire. They have made a commitment. Somebody who is cheerful and optimistic. good self-image, sense of humor. They are loving and caring. They are disciplined and flexible. They are a self-starter and a hard worker. They are organized, somebody who is gentle, somebody who is a giver and patriotic, and they have courage, they have character, they are dependable. Did not I have that one earlier? No, it did not. I thought it did. Okay. Somebody who, that is attitude, you said. Okay. Somebody who is reliable and unselfish and patient. Okay. We had 37 and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35 of them are straight attitudes, and one of them is attitude involved, attitude and skill. 36 of the 37 had attitude in there. Now, with that in mind, how many of you believe that your attitude just might have a bearing on your success in life? Can I see your hand all right now? With that in mind, how many of you think it is something that we might ought to look at learning more about? Can I see your hand? How many of you, when you were in school, had a course which taught you how to develop these qualities? Hello, okay. How many of you believe that we would have an even better America if we did every day teach these things in our public schools? Can I see your hands? Okay, now you do. You do understand that, with the exception of faith, we can teach all of those other things in schools, and faith is improving. I was in a school the other day. There was a sign on the principal just outside the principal's office. In the hallway, it said, in the event of fire, earthquake, or nuclear attack, the ban on prayer is temporarily lifted. We are making some progress, ladies and gentlemen. Now let me point out, there are some people who would say, but now Zig, those things are values, and we cannot teach values. Who says we cannot? We can absolutely teach every one of these things in the public schools, because you know whose values they are. They are yours. I have done this exact presentation from Miami to Seattle and from San Diego to Augusta, Maine, and everything in between, and without exception, these are always the qualities they bring out. It will not vary. They will not vary 10%. So far, I have never gone to an employer and have him say no. I would not have any interest in anybody who has ambition, who is consistent with a good attitude, who is enthusiastic, who is a dreamer with goals, who is honest and motivated. You know what they say to me? You send me somebody with these qualities, and I will teach them how to run the gizmo that manufactures the widgets. That is exactly what they say. This is what makes the difference in America today. There is an enormous amount of talk about the drug problem. I am here to tell you, ladies and gentlemen, we do not have a drug problem. We have got a people problem. Drugs are the manifestation of the problem. I want you to think about this. Can you imagine a youngster with all of these qualities getting involved in drugs? Good self-image, has goals, ambition, desire, all of these things. There literally is no way they are going to get involved, nor will they get involved in crime or promiscuity. You see, your faith in your future determines your conduct today, and anybody with these qualities is going to have a brilliant future. Why should they foul it up with crime and drugs and promiscuity? They just simply are not going to do it now. How many of you believe that in education, because these things are not being taught in our schools, that we really are in the boat? Can I see your hands? Okay. Now, with the exception of our educators here today, everybody else ought to feel pretty good. You see, we have identified a major area of life that is so important. You have said to me that a person with these qualities could be successful. As a matter of fact, let us take it a step further. How many of you believe that anybody with these qualities could get a job anywhere at any time under any circumstances and do well in that job? Can I see your hands? Please, there would be no question about it, would it? So we have determined something here. We have found out what the problem is in our society all this time. I was thinking it was my fault. You might be saying to yourself, and what a relief it is to know it is not my fault at all. It is the educator's fault. It is the educator's fault. They ought to be teaching us those things, and they are not doing. You wait till I get back to school. If I do not call them up and give them a piece of my mind, But folks, here is the basic problem. When you got one finger pointed that way, you got 3 times that many fingers pointed right back this way in the state where you live. How many hours a day do the kids go to school? Anybody? 6. Okay. I am hearing 6. I am hearing 7. Let us say 7 in the States. You are from how many days a year do the kids go to school? A year? 180. Okay. Now, if my arithmetic is correct, that means the kids are in school 1,260 hours now in the States. You are from how many hours are there in the year? Very good. Okay. Same as in Texas. All right. That is 8,760. That means, in a nutshell, ladies and gentlemen, that the kids are in school 1,260 hours they are at home, 7,560 hours a year, and mom and dad had those young ones 40,000 hours before the teacher ever saw them. Now, with that in mind, how many of you believe that us parents should accept just a small portion of the responsibility for teaching these qualities? Can I see your hand now? How many of you believe that before, as parents, we start teaching them, we should acquire some of them? Does that make any sense? Why do you call a person who practices one thing and preaches another a hypocrite? Now, hypocrite, as you well know, is just a fellow who is not himself on Sunday. Now, it is especially important, ladies and gentlemen, that as parents we assume more of the responsibility. And here is why, according to a study done in Missouri, 60 to 65% of our working vocabulary we have acquired by the age of 3 and 2/3 of everything we will ever learn. We have learned by the age of 6 and 80% of our character is formed by the age of 5. And might say, well now Zig, that sounds kind of discouraging to me because I am way over 3 and I am over 5, I am over 6. So let me take you back, Dr. Compole says, as important as that past is, it is not nearly as important as the way you see your future. How many of you believe that we would really have something going if we taught these at home and then reinforced them in school? Can I see your hands? Let me take a 60-second side trip and tell you why Japan is eating our lunch in the marketplace, while that little nation, half the size of Texas, 120 million people, no natural resources, is now the largest creditor nation in the world. 8 of the top 10 corporations in the world are Japanese. 8 of the top 10 banks in the world are Japanese. Here is why I am absolutely convinced of it. Starting in kindergarten 1 hour a day until they graduate from high school. This nation, which is the least Christian nation on earth, is teaching the most Christian principles of any nation on earth. I have been to Japan. I have looked at their educational structure. I have read what they are doing, went over there from kindergarten 1 hour a day to make sure we got it until they graduate from high school. They take a course teaching them the advantages and values of honesty and integrity and persistence and hard work and enthusiasm and motivation and positive thinking and responsibility and free enterprise and patriotism. It is taught from birth. Now I keep using that word, teach. Let me ask you a question. How many of you believe you can teach people to have ambition? Can I see your hands? How many of you believe you can teach people to be consistent? Hold them up high, so I can see them. How many of you believe you can teach a positive middle attitude? Ladies and gentlemen, go down the list, and you will discover that of the 37 qualities which you identified to me, 37 of these qualities can be taught. And if they can be taught, their skills, hey, there it is. Mark Tim with the Ziglar family. And I sure hope you are enjoying the video from my mentor, the legendary Zig Ziglar, because you are part of Zig Ziglar Motivation audience. We want to give you a special bonus. It is a cool little book called The Little Book of Big Quotes packed with awesome content. This book is free just for you. Check out the description below and it is yours alrighty. Let us get you back to Zig. Now stay with me because this is a critical point that can make a dramatic difference in your life, your family life, your business life, your personal life. That is so enormously exciting because it tells me that I have got a chance. It tells me that you have got a chance. It tells me that that youngster who left home this morning without a bite to eat, nothing but a kick in the rear, has never been told that he is loved, has never had a word of encouragement. It tells me that if that youngster is fortunate enough to meet a Jamie Escalante, how many of you happen to see the movie Stand and Deliver? If you ever get a chance to see it, do not miss it. Jamie Escalante taught in this barrio in Los Angeles, a Mexican community where teenage pregnancy was expected, drugs run absolutely rampant, where crime ran absolutely all over the place. Nobody really expected any of the kids to graduate from high school, much less go to college. Jamie Escalante enters the picture. He believed he could teach those kids, and he believed that those kids could learn. He believed it so strongly, as a matter of fact, that by enormous amounts of hard work, enthusiasm, a positive mental attitude, consistent, persistent, loving, caring, committed, dedicated effort. First year, this man who were teaching kids who had trouble with simple math, put them in advanced calculus, and 18 of them won college scholarships. Ladies and gentlemen, I am here to tell you it is not going to be easy, but you are what you are and where you are. Because of what has gone into your mind, you can change what you are. You can change where you are by changing what goes into your mind. At age 45, I was broken in debt. My dad died when I was 5 years old. I am one of 12 children. It was the heart of the depression. I went to work in a grocery store on Saturday before I entered the 5th grade. On Monday, I worked every afternoon after school, and on Saturday, I had a paper route 2 nights a week and collected 1 night a week. By age 14, I was running a meat market. I contributed the support of my family before I was 13 years old. I have worked hard all of my life, but until I was 45 years old, I was stone broke. Now I stress that because I want to emphasize to those of you who have had a few birthdays, as important as your past, is it is not nearly as important as the way you see your future. Now hear me real good on this next, because upon this depends so much. You have said to me that anybody with these qualities could be enormously successful in the Amway business. Go right on the diamond, double diamond, triple, maybe even the crown. You have said anybody with these qualities could get a job anywhere at any time under any circumstances and be successful in that job. I wish I could see your eyeballs, every one of you, because if I could, I would look you right in the eye, and here is what I would say to you. And yes, I am really talking to you directly. This is not for anybody else here. It is not for the people who are not present today. I am speaking specifically and directly to you. You, my friends, already have every single quality which you have identified as being present in the Dream Amway distributor. Now you are pitifully weak in some of them, as all of us are. But let me say it again. You are what you are and where you are, because of what has gone into your mind. You can change what you are. You can change where you are by changing what goes into your mind. Now let us go down the list. Are you going to sit there and try to deny some of these? Are you going to say you have no ambition? Your presence here makes a lie out of that? Or are you going to sit there and say that you are not consistent in what you do? Your very presence denies that you want to do something. Are you going to sit there and tell me you have no positive mental attitude? You suffer from a terminal case of thinking. Are you going to sit there and tell me you have no enthusiasm, that you are not honest, that you are so crooked, that when you die they are going to have to bury or screw you in the ground? Are you going to sit there? Are you going to sit there and tell me that you are lazy, that you are so lazy, you would not hit a lick at a snake? I am here to tell you folks that you have got all of them. You need to refine and develop them. I was doing a seminar at Atlanta, Georgia, last December. When I finished the seminar, I was signing books and talking to people. There was a lady and her husband, seated on the second row from my platform. She and her husband waited patiently until everybody else had made their departure, and the lady came forward. She said, "Mr. Ziglar," she said, "I am Jan McBaron. I am the one who wrote you the letter." I said, "Yes, Jan, it is an absolute delight to meet you." She said, "I just wanted to elaborate on the letter." She said, "For many years of my adult life, Mr. Ziglar, I weighed over 200 pounds like you did. As you can see, I now am the right weight. I smoke between 2 and 3 packages of cigarettes a day. I drank too much. I had a terrible self-image." Dr. Joyce Brothers is right when she says that you cannot consistently perform in a manner which is inconsistent with the way you see yourself. She said, "I was a nurse, had been a nurse for 6 years, and I listened to what you say on your tapes. I started believing that yes, I really did have what it takes. I went to work. She said it was not easy, Mr. Ziglar, by any stretch of imagination. But I would like to reintroduce myself. I am Jan McBaron, MD. I worked my way after 6 years as a nurse. She worked her way through medical school. As a full-time nurse, she said I am one of 6 women in America who has their specialty in bariatrics, weight management, weight control. I am here to tell you folks, if you do not like you and where you are not stuck with it. You are tied in one of the most magnificent business opportunities our country has ever produced. You are in on an upswing. You are in on a period of excitement where I am telling you things can be absolutely magnificently well if you will. But develop these qualities which are already yours. I am here to tell you at our company, everything that we do, and I mean literally everything that we do, is designed for the purpose of developing the qualities which will take you to where you want to go. You got to be before you can do, and you got to do before you can have. I close, ladies and gentlemen, with this: believe in you. You were created by God in His own image. He loves you, and He wants the best for you. I can tell you the thing that made the difference in my life was when I committed it to Christ on that July 4th, 1972. When you start talking about dreams and goals, do I need to remind you that you are going to be dead a lot longer than you are going to be alive? So the goal you set there is important. Believe in you. Believe in your fellow human beings, because you cannot have everything in life you want. If you will just help enough other people get what they want, believe in what you are doing in this great business. I have been saying it for years. If we had enough Amway distributors in our society today, with all of the attitudes that you have, the patriotism, you show the flag waving, you do the conscience and the spirits which you have, enough Amway distributors alone would turn this country around, and we could go, do not just buy the dream for yourself. It is a magnificent dream for you and your family and your loved ones. But we are part of the big package by the dream for what it can mean to our society. I have been almost all over the world. I have been behind the Iron Curtain. I have been in the third world countries. I have been in the other industrialized nations. And there is no other land. Ladies and gentlemen, like the good old USA, and freedom in our world today is dependent upon us. And that means we are dependent upon you. Believe in your dream. Believe in our great country. Ask yourself every day, if everybody in America was doing exactly the same thing I am doing, would my land be getting better or would it be getting worse? And when you answer that question, then you know exactly what you got to do. You might say, what can I do? Zig, I am only one. That obviously is not true. But if it were true, just remember this. God said to build a better world, and I said how the world is such a dark and lonely place, and I am so small and useless. There is nothing I can do. But God in all wisdom said just build a better you, and ladies and gentlemen, that is what this weekend is all about. Building a better you, so you can build a better future for your family. So America itself will have a better future by these ideas that you are going to be here in all weekend. Put them in execution. Remember that you were born to win. Take the steps we have talking about. Because if you do, I can close, as I always do, by saying I will see you. And yes, I very definitely, emphatically, positively, definitely do mean you, at the top. God bless you, and thank you to watch another amazing Zig Ziglar video. Check it out. Right there next to me. I think you will love it. Continue to believe, and I will see you there. You see, self-fulfillment is the bodybuilder who goes to the gym and develops the muscles and spends all the time admiring that physique. Personal growth is that individual who goes to the gym and lifts the weight